Holly.
And I'm Horace.
And we're going to tell you a little story about a mountain in Ecuador. While we were still in Quito, Ecuador, our friends Melly and Marcelo invited us to go on a road trip to see the Cotopaxi mountain. At over 19,000 feet, Cotopaxi is one of the highest active volcanoes in the world. And so when we arrived at the base of the Cotopaxi volcano, the air was pretty thin and it was cold. It was chilly, but it had beautiful, the grasslands were all waving in the breeze, in the wind, I should say. And it was like a green blanket on the sky, beautiful blue sky. The peak of the Cotopaxi is almost symmetrically perfect. And it's snow white with, snow, and it just pierces the sky. It was a beautiful sight with just a little bit of steam. It seemed like it was coming out of the top of it, but it was probably just one of the clouds. I don't know, but it was beautiful. So as the cold wind blows, you can hear a voice. It seems to come from the wind itself.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you the story about the Cotopaxi mountain. But
Yeah.
When the wind whistles, you seem to hear the eternal voices of the ancient Quechua ancestors. And they say, when you're looking at the mountain, the wind whistles and it says, they look eternal, don't they? And you look around and you see the wind blowing, the surrounding grasses around you, and these Quechua voices. You have to think, they're thousands of years old, but they were alive. They had hearts, they had tempers, but most of all, they had secrets. And in the distance, you see looms the mass of the Ilinici mountain. And as you shift your gaze, the swirling wind seems to speak again. And it tells you the story. The story says that a long time ago, the Ilinici Sur, that's the southern peak, was the wife of the Ilinici Norte, that's the northern peak. Yet her heart, Ilinici Sur, belonged to the beautiful, fierce Cotopaxi. But theirs was a forbidden love, a secret carried only on the winds between the peaks of the mountains. Your eyes then move to the stern silhouette of the Romanyawi mountain. And the ancestors say, and that one, the Watcher.
He was the wife, but he was also known as the Tattletale. He didn't like deceit.
Yeah. Romanyawi was steadfast and loyal. He could not bear deceit. The Tattletale, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what did Romanyawi do?
He tattled.
Yeah, he went to Ilinici Norte and revealed the secret love between Ilinici Sur and Cotopaxi. So, as many husbands, a terrible rage erupted in the mountain. The earth shook. What we call a volcano or an earthquake, right? The earth shook with fury.
Yeah, volcano.
Heartbroken and enraged, Ilinici Norte lashed out, and the great battle that followed, the majestic altar mountain was struck. It had nothing to do with this.
No, but he had his spire, his peaks were like totally a scar. He was scarred from the battle.
It had a permanent conflict of the battle, permanent scar from that battle. But as you're standing there, a chilly wind sweeps across the plain, and you watch as a small cluster of clouds begin to curl around Romanyawi's base.
It started. See little drops of rain. It was telling us it was time for us to leave. We got to see.
What it was telling, the real story behind it, is the ancestral Quechua voices return softer now. And they say, even now the drama of the secret love is not over. They say, Roman Yahweh, ever watchful, still holds a grudge. And Ilanisa Norte, that betrayed husband that I told you about earlier, remains jealous.
Yeah, you can't let it go.
And when travelers like Holly and I come to see the mountain, his rival, Cotopaxi, he decides if we're worthy of seeing Cotopaxi. If Ilanisa Norte approves, thinks we're worthy, he allows us to clearly see the beautiful peak.
Beautiful.
But if Ilanisa Norte is in a sour mood, doesn't believe that we need to see it, what happens?
You're not going to see it. It's going to be covered up.
With
the clouds, the rain.
Clouds.
Yeah, it's going to be covered up.
And he may allow the glowing white summit to float like a ghostly ship, island and a gray sea. And, mentioning gray sea, I don't want you to forget about it.
No, you're not eating it.
You hopefully begin to understand that this is not just a landscape. It's a living story.
It is a story.
The jealous husband, Ilanisa Norte, is testing you. And the loyal, steadfast, stern Romanawi is watching. And the majestic, desired Cotopaxi waits, forever beautiful, forever at its heart of the tale, the fiery heart beating beneath that ice, patient and eternal.
These mountains are made of rock and snow, yeah, but also memory. Thousands of years of memories.
And here you have a story of love and betrayal that are not forgotten. They're simply frozen against the sky, immutable and grand. And with every gust of wind that sweeps across the roof of the world, and is a breath from the past, keeping the legend alive for those willing to listen to the Quechua ancestors.
So we hope you enjoyed this little story about Cotopaxi Mountain, and we hope you enjoy the photos of this fantastic place.
And we want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you
Horace
so much.
And
Holly.
we will see you next time.